Yo, party people, is Ashley of SingleWomanChronicles.com, where being single is a beautiful choice rather than a miserable circumstance. And we have Brittany back in the building.
Yay!
Love how she's our own hype man.
As
Isn't
you
it
should
wonderful?
be. Hi guys, it's good to be back. I'm Brittany L. Smith, and this Friday, February the 4th, Sweet Magnolia Season 2 is back on Netflix.
It really upsets me because I was going to be like, this is Sweet Magnolia's week. But you
It still matters. It
had
still
to
counts.
come through dripping with our own self-promotion.
I'm sorry.
But shameless, not shameless. Very shameless plug entered there. If you don't know what Sweet Magnolias
Get
is.
on it.
I think it is trending right
Yeah,
now.
it is. As it
So,
should be.
On Netflix, people.
Netflix.
Everybody got Netflix. And if you don't got Netflix, you got somebody who got Netflix.
You know the password.
So no excuses.
Catch
okay,
up on
people?
Season 1. Season 2 drops Friday, February 4th.
Okay, people. Anything else?
No. It's good to be back.
Yeah. So we tired. Today was an interesting day. Folks
It
be in
was.
the way. Folks was in our way all day. Have y'all ever been in a grocery store and somebody grocery shopping while on the phone?
Of course, everybody's on the phone.
But like not texting, not headphones in, not like the old school player with the neck Bluetooth. I'm talking like full blown phone to ear on the phone pushing the cart. I almost pushed this guy down today, y'all. He's about to get got. This man, full blown conversation, moving the cart 2 miles an hour so everybody sees him. On the phone. yeah, George. Yeah, yes, it did. I'm trying to get around.
She's got things to do.
He's so oblivious to me
And in her
because
way.
he is fully on the phone. He's literally blocking it out. Like literally. This is very disrespectful. Then I get up down another aisle. He blocking that.
But that was then. And now we're
This
here.
is now. All right. Today we are talking about overcoming narcissist.
We did it.
We did it. We did it.
She and I
We did it,
specifically.
Joe.
We did it. We did it.
We did it, Joe. High five.
Yay.
And
And if you did it too, high five to you.
the tricky thing about narcissism and
Narcissistic people.
Sipping on some scissors.
Thought you were about to beatbox. I was ready. I was with it.
Some scissor. The thing about narcissistic relationships is you don't know you in it until you out of it. Like,
That's actually true.
you don't know you in it until you get
I
out.
didn't know he was a narcissist until...
You don't know until you get out.
Yeah.
And once that first one, it alerts you so heavy. And if you do the work and like sit with yourself and really heal and start to count the signs of you analytical and overthinker like me, you be like, oh, yes, he did.
Yes.
You be writing a whole list.
And you'd be surprised how many of them are out there. It's a lot.
It's in the water.
It's
Literally in the water.
It's
It's
giving
in
it
the
out
water.
for free,
It's in the water.
in abundance,
It's right. It's in the
supply.
aisle. It's in the free aisle right next to Audacity.
Audacity.
Audacity and narcissism. They
Next
right next
shelf
to each other.
is narcissism.
Yeah,
Okay.
they
Both
right
for
next
free.
to. They're not even on the next shelf. Right next to each other. I'm like, peanut butter here, almond butter here, Audacity here, narcissism right there.
Right. It's a double pair.
Yes, they kissing each other
Right.
right there. So let's give you guys the definition before we jump in.
Of what a narcissist is.
This is the WebMD. Okay. So WebMD says narcissism is extreme self-involvement to the degree that it makes a person ignore the needs of those around them. While everyone may show occasional narcissistic behavior, true narcissists frequently disregard others or their feelings. Okay. So you hear it. All of us got something in us. Everybody got, a little bit of it, but they just don't care. It's levels to this. That's what Meek said.
It's their
levels
lifestyle.
to this. Right. People who show signs of narcissism can often be very charming and charismatic. Yes. They often don't show, they never show, honestly, negative behavior right away, especially in relationships. People who show narcissism often like to surround themselves with people who feed into their ego. They build relationships to reinforce their ideas about themselves, even if these relationships are superficial. All right? So,
true.
I screenshot some of my signs. Okay? We already talked about have a sense of entitlement and require constant, excessive admiration. Monopolize conversations and belittle or look down on people they perceive as inferior. Expect the one. Expect special favors and unquestioning compliance with their expectations. So if you don't know what that means, that basically means I expect you to do things and not question my authority. Don't ask me. Listen.
Or have an opinion about it.
Right. Girl, I done told you to go up in that room, take them clothes off, and come back in here. Why is you questioning me?
Oh, God.
Because we never discussed that, and this is the first day. Girl, if you get...
That's not my definition. Well, not one of my signs that I dealt with. But
that's not nowhere near a sign that I dealt with. But it's more so like... Oh, I'll give a great example. A gentleman I dated caught him on Twitter entertaining women. And I was like, hey, yo, you told me that we were dating only each other.
Exclusively.
What's going on here? And he like, I don't take Twitter seriously. Why you tripping? So they don't expect you to question the things that should be questioned, basically.
Right. We'll get into that.
Let's finish the list.
Because this is going to be a good one tonight.
Take advantage of others to get what they want.
Oh, God, that's a big one.
Have an inability or unwillingness to recognize the needs of others or feelings of others. Lack of accountability.
Read that one again, because they skip past this one.
Have an inability or unwillingness to recognize the needs and feelings of others. That one. That's basically lack of accountability. You don't care what you do to other people. And be envious of others and believe others are envious of them. A lot of folks, the main folks that be like, they hating on me. The people that talk about haters the most be the people actually hating. No, seriously.
I know, that's why it's funny.
It's crazy because, like, the people I'm around, like, my friends never be like, oh, they hating on me.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have those conversations because if somebody hating on me, I don't care. What is that going to do for me? What is identifying a hater going to do for me? I don't need haters to be a motivator. I'm really fantastic at motivating myself. Jesus is also great. She's a good too. She's really good. Okay. Have great friends who motivate me.
But some people don't have great friends. Some people's friends are also their enemies or haters. How that works is very twisted.
I just don't even.
But like, okay, so those were the examples. So what? Hold on. What?
Oh, this is the biggest one. They have a trouble receiving criticism. If you confront them with anything they did wrong, that's criticism. And it could be something like, hey, I just walked in the room with you with a whole nother woman kissing her. What's going on? They get extremely defensive as if it's you. As if it's you, right? And they do things like react with rage or contempt and try to belittle the other person to make themselves appear superior. Experience major problems dealing with stress and adapting to change. That's another thing. And gaslighting is huge. Gaslighting is the thing, people. The gaslighting. If you don't know what gaslighting is someone making you feel like you're the problem when confronted with something they actually did wrong. And literally will make you feel like you're crazy. You literally be looking in the mirror like, dang, did I do something? Wait, was it me?
Was he kissing someone in front of me?
Should I believe my own eyes?
Should I believe my own eyes?
Should I believe my own eyes?
Do I dare
Do I dare believe the eyes that have been working for me 32 years?
Eyesight over what this person says.
I don't know. He made good points.
He made good points.
Let me go think about it.
I should go get my eyes checked.
I should go think about it.
Because I'm in the wrong.
I need glasses. That's what
I need glasses. Drove all the way over here, perfect vision, with my glasses, contacts, whatever.
Something's going on.
But it's got to be me.
The math ain't mathing no more.
It's clearly. So what's your one of your examples of dating or being in a relationship with a narcissist?
You had something to say before this.
Oh, I do, but that gets into after we've had our discussion and everything, because people should know what happens when you're trying to leave a narcissist.
Well, here's the thing. My example, I have several. I have a few. And I've dated a few different kind as well. The one I dated the longest, him, yes. That was my first time dating a narcissist.
It was.
And yeah, I didn't know what was going on. I'm sorry, you guys. My dog, every time, y'all listen to
you just want to make sure that
every time I start to record, he's like, violence. He presses the button, violence. Let me choose violence.
So now he's on our lighting cord.
So he will pull out the lighting cord. He has pulled out the mics before. Like, he just really be on one. So right now he is like furrying his body over the cord for the lighting. So I really don't know what's going to happen. Bridges, can you stop? He said no.
He said no.
So
blatant no, and kept doing it. So
we'll
see how this goes.
Know. We'll see. Hold on. Let me see if I can throw something.
I threw a water bottle.
You didn't hear.
We're not.
Move.
Yeah, it's fine. No pets were harmed during the recording of this.
Anyway, as I was saying, dating a narcissist. So this guy,
first narcissist,
the first one ever. He started off charming, did everything that I wanted. She has her own opinion, but this was my relationship with him. He was very charming. He did everything I wanted him to do. Like, if I wanted to go on a date, we're going on a date. If I want flowers, we getting flowers. If I want candies, we getting candies. If I want food in the middle of the night, he's bringing food in the middle of the night. So it's like they come into the relationship giving you everything you want up front because this is a strong representative because they want you to fall very fast. The reason their pacing is very fast is because they need something from you. So they're going to do everything to build your trust very early on and allow you to let your guard down so then they can punch you in the gut with their narcissism.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it was cool at first. And then, of course, they ask you about being in a relationship typically early. Most of them, they want some type of control, or they want some type of, like, they want a lot of access to you. So they will most likely ask you to be their girl or be exclusive or whatever really early on. They'll start saying all this stuff, many of them. So that's what happened with mine. And I was already, and they know how to pick them. That's another thing you got to know. They know how to pick them because he got me in a very vulnerable state in my life. I was in a very broken place. I had been dating for a long time, and this is before I was celibate. And I was having sex. I had very low self-worth, but I didn't know what that looked like because I wasn't as mature as I was. I hadn't gone to therapy. I hadn't got my master's in psychology. Like, none of that. This was pre-me. This was BC me, before Christ me. All of this. Like, this is like, you know, so I was at a point, I didn't have self-awareness like I have now. And I just didn't know. But I just wanted someone to pick me. I needed validation. The only way to my validation at that time was if a man tells me, I want to be your man. That validated me. Because for so long, I was battling with abandonment issues. So in my mind, every man left. So because he stayed, that meant something to me. So him making me his girlfriend put him on a pedestal in my life. And he knew that. So,
well, let me swing on over here and give my...
We don't need your side of the story.
No, not on my story.
Okay.
I'm talking about
I was going to say, we don't need your side of the story.
No, because it's healthy from... Yeah, I mean... Ashley knows my side.
She hated him, so I'm like, is she about to talk about her hate? From jump.
I hated him from jump. I was right, but it's not about me. Anyway,
I was right about yours too.
We
all were,
and now
we all had to side out.
But here's
yours
the thing.
Was different.
Mine was different. So like Ashley was describing, that narcissist in this particular situation.
It's a lot of different.
I'm gonna call this person the idiot because that's what Ashley and I call him. Mm-hmm. So he's an older guy, probably like older by 10 years. And also an artist.
He's lying. I swear to God, y'all, he's lying.
She thinks he's older than he is.
I know he is. He's
lying.
Older. You said 10 years?
Yes.
That man, a smooth 18-year difference. Bruh, that boy look like Uncle, boy. That's Uncle Daddy, boy.
Anyway, so he was, and I guess still is, like a professional actor, super accolades and everything like that.
And y'all know actors be lying about their age. That's the industry. That's his industry age.
And I, when we met, it was really just something cool. And, you know, we ate, had dinner, got to know each other. And it was just a refreshing conversation to be around somebody who was just like, oh my gosh, you have things to talk about. You are interested in the things that I'm interested in. You can talk about something other than like, being on social media and followers and blah, 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 blah. Stuff that is not really heavy to me. And so we were talking about cultures and language and traveling and food and different things like that. And throughout the course of 6 months, he was a fantastic guy. Called every day, checked in every day. We had jokes, inside jokes. She
got flued out.
I was getting to that point. So he was working with like different performing arts camps. And so he would be in different states. And one day he was just like, well, I'm going to be in New York. Wouldn't it be great if you came out here? And I was like, yeah, of course. And he was like, no, wait, I actually do want you here. Would you be okay if I flew you out here? I said, what? Ashley, I'm going to New York. And so, you know, I'm telling the best friend about him. By this time, it was like 5 months in, 6 months in. I go to New York. He pays for my own separate hotel. It's a different hotel than the one that he was staying in. Everything was on his card. So run up the charges. He's paying for it. No, I did not have sex with him. No, he did not ask me for sex. Sex was never had. And we had dinner one time and he told me about like his whole entire relationship. He was older, so he had kids. He was divorced, how he got married, how they got divorced, and and just laying it bare open. So I'm like, oh my God, I have found a genuine human being who is caring, who is an artist, who gets my life, my industry. We're compatible with the things that we're compatible with. For me, anything that like happens really quickly, it just makes me want to like fight somebody. So like the fact that this happened in a length of time, 6 months. You thinking 6 months? Yeah. We're good. I'm trusting you. This is who you constantly are, who you constantly presented yourself to be. Like Ashley has an example where, you know, everything happened really, really fast, and that also works. And then some people play the long game and they're just like, you know, we're going to take our time, be slow. That was fine.
But
with
also, they know how to pick them.
They do know how to pick them.
He never could have got me.
Ever. But you wouldn't have gone for him anyway.
First of all, because he looked like handsome Squidward. Not my look.
I've come a long way, guys. But
2, also, because at that time, I needed validation so much, I needed it to pace fast. Mm-hmm. Because if you didn't come fast, no pun intended. Just caught it when I said it. If you didn't, right, heard it. If you weren't moving fast enough for me, I took that as you don't want me. Let me move on.
Yeah.
But from somebody like you who grew up in a 2-parent household, your parents are still together. They have a wonderful, beautiful marriage.
There was courting. There was dating.
Exactly.
It was like a process.
They basically kind of like scope what do you call it? The victim. What do you call it when they're preying on that victim? They're kind of like researching. You watch you.
I have.
You know Joe. He be. They don't be stalking you, but like they kind of size you up. Like, can I get her? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's what I mean by that. So
right, and so everything was wonderful, great. My trip to New York was amazing and awesome, and I'm telling Ashley about this. This guy is fantastic. Cut to when I get back home to Atlanta. I don't hear from him for 2 weeks. I didn't tell her at the time because I was like, she's going to be upset about this because I know Ashley's big thing is communication. So if somebody were to not talk to Ashley for 2 weeks, that wouldn't happen because she'd get to like 2 days and they would be gone.
They obviously died.
And so I, after 2 weeks, have gotten to the point I was like, hey, This is me texting Ashley. So the idiot didn't text me back, and it's been 2, and she's like, oh, it's been like 2 days? I was like, 2 weeks. She said 2 weeks! Oh, no! And I mean, just the text. I mean, she was rapid fire. Sending gifs, like, emojis, everything, telling me, why? Is he dead? What happened? Da-da-da-da. And I was just like, no, you don't understand. Oh, this is my favorite. First, you don't understand. She's having trigger flashbacks right now. But I was like, no, you don't understand. He's really busy. His schedule, you don't know. He's a performer, so he's got a lot to do. And she tried to beat it into my head that no one is ever that busy. In the year of our Lord, 20 whatever, where we have how many social medias, where we can set timers to send text messages to people, where we can tell Siri to send text messages to people.
Where Rihanna had time to get pregnant.
No, but this is back then.
Oh, but still.
But then, like, all of this stuff happening, no one is ever that busy to send out a text to just say hey. I was fighting her, saying, like, you don't understand. Meanwhile, in the reality situation, we're literally dating the same person in different bodies and going through the same experience at the same time.
But because it looks so different,
mm-hmm.
on paper, we didn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
We could only, it's like the Bible says, trying to remove the plank. What is it?
Get the flick out of
your eye and don't remove the plank mm-hmm. from your own eye. Like, we were so busy minding each other's business.
Well, you're a guy this. No, you're a guy this. Meanwhile.
Right.
Both guys still. We both out here looking.
We both getting played. Oh, both of us out here gaining weight.
Oh my God, yeah, I forgot about that. I got patches missing in my hair. They were quarter-size patches missing all over my hair. I was still natural, and then my hair was just falling out. It was just falling out. Never happened before. No, it was not alopecia. It was just stress. So when did you realize you were, like, dating a narcissist, or when did you start to question your motives about, like, your sanity? Like,
first of all, from day one. The thing about mine was, I say it was BC me only because I had been sick. So I didn't get baptized until I was 24. Around this time, I was like 26, I believe. But, you know, anybody who's a believer, like, who's really been walking with Christ and, like, really be in a word for real, they know that once you get baptized, that don't mean you gonna change. Like, you just kind of start your journey. So I say it's BC me because this was before I, like, really got in the word, really started praying for myself, really started, like, I was going to church every Sunday, but, like, I wasn't dedicated to being more like Christ. I'm saying all this for a reason because before I went in that relationship, I prayed about it. I was like, hey, God, what's up? You know, I'm dating this guy. Should I date him? Okay, y'all listening? Don't think I'm crazy. This ain't like no big audible, what's the dude who talked for the Lion King voice?
James Earl Jones?
Yes, it's not that kind of voice. But literally, the Holy Spirit within me yelled no. Like, literally, it was like, no! And I'm like, I hear you, but he wants to be with me, so
right.
I'm just gonna
meant to say that.
Right, maybe you were yelling at me for another reason.
Right.
So, whatever. So, I go into it, and within the first month, I realized, this is why you said no. Got it. Because he started to emotionally abuse me really badly. So, what emotional abuse is like an extreme roller coaster. I'll give you an example. One Christmas.
Was this the first Christmas?
This was the first one.
Because that solidified.
That was a lot.
Dislike.
Yeah, so on Thanksgiving.
I still remember that.
So we met late October.
Mm-hmm.
He brought me around his family for Thanksgiving. He expected the same thing from me on Christmas. But here's the thing. I live in Atlanta. My mom lives in Atlanta. My other family lives in Mississippi. So going to Mississippi with me is a big deal. Brittany hasn't even gone to Mississippi with me. Like,
still to this day.
Like, it's not because I haven't invited her. It's just more so time and whatever. Yeah. But anyway, so he expected me to take him to Mississippi. But I'm like, dude, we've been dating for what, 2 months? You think I'm about to take you to Mississippi? Are you crazy? Like, so I get to Mississippi, and we get on the phone that first night. He literally picks an argument with me out of nowhere. Hangs the phone up in my face. So I'm like, what is going on? Like, that wasn't even nothing to hang up on nobody for. Like, it was the dumbest thing. Like, I can't even remember I can't remember what it's about, but it was something very stupid. Like, level 1 to 10 to argue, it was like a 2. It was nothing. So he hangs up on me. This is Christmas Eve. So I call him back like 10 times. I'm sending text after text, nothing. So in this point, I'm crying. I'm like, what did I do wrong? Mm-hmm. I can't believe this is going on. I'm talking to my cousin about it. That's who I'm staying with. And he's like, man, forget him. You with your fam, whatever. And I think I told her about it. Whatever. I'm out of it. Next day, Christmas. He don't hit me up. I'm still calling him. I don't hear from him, y'all. So this is like
biggest holidays of the year.
This is like 8 p.m. when he hung up on me. I didn't hear from him again. And mind you, I had been calling, texting throughout the day. I don't hear from him again until like 7 p.m. the next day. And when he called me, he literally talked. What's up? Like nothing happened. And I was like, are you? What? He didn't explain why. He was like, I was just upset and I need to cool down. Didn't apologize. And I'm just like crying. I'm still distraught because I'm like, why would you do this to me? Because it's like when you're in that, you're so confused that logic is out the window. Because you're like, how could someone do? I must have did something wrong. Like it must be something I did because I don't get it. But that emotional abuse happened so many times in our relationship. It was just like, what the heck? So from that kind of stress, like I became attached and kind of addicted to the relationship because when there is extremes like this.
And hella paranoid.
So paranoid. So when it's extremes like that, it was like, okay, I'm off. I was also paranoid. A lot of people don't realize the reason was I had so many people from every angle telling me don't be with this person, but I wasn't strong enough at the time to leave. I had Brittany hating him, my mom hated him, my other friends hated him. They're like, he's whack, you need to leave. Anytime I turned on a gospel song, it said leave. It was crazy. I'm like, Jesus, what is an R&B song doing on the gospel station? What is happening here? So I stopped praying because every time I would pray, God would tell me to leave. I was still going to church, but I was just so like, whatever. I had to block out everybody because I didn't have the strength to leave at that time. So I knew from the first month that this ain't right. I didn't know it was narcissism. I didn't know I was being emotionally abused. I didn't know all of those terms until afterwards, a year after. But during the weight gain, the paranoia, the not really being able to enjoy my friends, things that I used to love, I couldn't do it anymore because he would just get so crazy. Yeah.
For me, like I said, when I went to New York, it was a great time. It was a wonderful time. The conversation was had that I'm not going to have sex with you. He understood I was not having sex with him. No sex was had. And so we stayed in contact, had a wonderful time. And then I got back to Atlanta. And again, we talked, and he said he's headed to his sister's house in California. And like I said, he was traveling at the time. Hopefully my memory's putting these right together. He was traveling at the time, so he was at somewhere on the West Coast for the performing arts. And he was like, oh, since I'm close by, I'm going to visit my sister in California. Just drive on over. So he's like, okay. He's like, and I'll let you know when I get there. Last I heard of him for 2 weeks. He said, I'm on the road, driving to my sister's house. I'll call you when I get there. 2 weeks later. So clearly I'm thinking that he is actually dead. I'm like, oh Lord, he drove off a cliff. A boulder came and smashed in him. I don't know what killers they got over there in California in like San Fran or whatever. But surely, like, what is his mom's number? Can I get in touch with her? Blah, blah, blah. I'm texting Ashley all this information. Like, what happened, and I'm sending text, I'm calling, I'm FaceTiming, and then 2 weeks later, he just calls me out of nowhere. Hey, how you doing? You're not dead? Hi. What happened? What's going on? Did you make it to California? I don't know at this point. And he's just like, oh yeah, I was with my sister. We had a great time, and we're just catching up. I'm like, I don't hear anything else other than, why didn't you just at least let me know that you arrived? I am huge on family time. I love my family. I love spending time with my family. I don't even text Ashley as much as I do when I'm with my family. So for a person to be with their family and to just be, you know, like kind of away from their phone, that doesn't mean anything to me. But let me know that you arrived to your destination. That's just a common courtesy thing. And the fact that this is the first time in 6 months that we've gone without talking for 2 weeks, like, a lot of people may think like, well, 2 weeks is not a long time. You, for continuous half a year, have set your behavior to be one thing. I am now thinking this is how you continuously are, how you consistently are. We talk every day. We talk for at least this time. We check in with each other. We do X, Y, and Z. Half of the year, you have established this. This is our groundwork. Now, all of a sudden, these 2 weeks come and things happen. So now I'm worried. Is it me? What happened? Is it somebody else? Whatever. He's cool. I have nothing to do. I'm like, hey, well, like, next time, could you just, like, let me know when you get there? I mean, I was with my family, so I don't really think it was that big of a deal. Mind you, I'm, like, sobbing and, like, blowing up her phone. I don't get it. I don't understand. And then he was just like, yeah. I was like, you don't get it, Ashley. He's just busy. That's what his schedule was like. He told me that he couldn't get to his phone because it just doesn't work in California. What? It's dumb. I know. So things started to be very shady after that. And I continued to visit him again on his dime. He flew me out, whatever. No sex was had. And then one point when I was coming, he was performing. And I specifically remember one point when he was performing, like, one person in the audience, she saw that we came together and she looked back at me and she's like, you're so lucky. And what woman doesn't want to feel like they've won the lottery? Like, we are in an auditorium full of people. The star is up there singing, performing. At the time, I wasn't on any television shows. I hadn't done any of my theater work, my professional theater work at the time. This man's been on Broadway. He's done countless regional tours, everything, made a name for himself. So I felt like I was somebody being in his presence. I was like, oh my gosh, yes, this is great. I'm going to big you up. I'm going to hype you up. I was able to go to, you know, your premiere for your opening night for the show, blah, blah, blah. So, and then it's confirmed by this woman knowing that I'm great by being in his presence. And that means I too am great because I'm connected to him. And after that trip, I did not speak to him for 6 months.
Were you reaching out?
I was reaching out. I didn't know I wasn't going to speak to him for 6 months.
I'm just giving people context. They're going to ask. Like,
I came back
reaching
home,
out, girl?
And he was like, this is literally what was happening. My birthday was coming up. My birthday is coming up February 25th. Shout me out.
She
and
gonna be Hawaii, y'all.
I am. And he was like, I will be there. I'll be in Florida. I'll come.
Her parents live in Miami.
My parents live in Miami. And I was in Miami to spend my birthday. He's like, oh, I'll be in Florida. I'm just going to drive down and see you. I'm like, okay, I'm staying with my parents, just FYI. And he's like, yeah, I'll be there. My birthday comes. Morning. Hey, what time do you think you're going to be here? I hear nothing. Afternoon.
So wait, he ghosted you on your birthday?
That's the thing she finds out post.
So throughout, they don't need to know time. Throughout the time, because it was kind of long that she was coping with this.
Oh, it was
nonsense.
A long time.
You want to get him? Mine, I was in for 1 year and 2 months. Yours was
I forgot to say, she was in a relationship. I was in a situationship.
Yeah.
Situationship, meaning he had never asked me to be his girlfriend. We had conversations about being in a relationship. And I never was. So people were like, you're just stupid. I would never. Some of y'all in that right now. Y'all don't even know.
Listen, I'm about to justify everything we said because I'm about to bring it back around. But before we get it back around,
but
how long yours was?
In totality, it was 3 years.
3 years.
So that's including the 6 months that he ghosted me on my birthday, sent me a text message the next day. I know I'm the worst fake non-boyfriend, but I hope you had a great birthday.
He did not call himself a fake non-boy.
Yes.
That was the point I was going with. In the 3 years, she was very secretive because
Brittany can hold a secret.
She's very good at holding secrets. But I feel like when we know we doing something wrong, it's hard for us to tell that friend that's going to call us out. So I've been there. I used to keep secrets all the time. Not as long as her, but I used to keep them. So I get that. But a lot of stuff that she was saying, like, I was unaware that he called himself a fake.
He said, I'm so sorry. I'm the worst fake non-boyfriend ever. I hope you had a good birthday. And I was pissed because you left me on my birthday. My parents expected you. They expected to meet you. They thought you were great all this whole time. And my parents are everything to me.
Because she didn't tell them that he was acting funky.
And he didn't. We went through my whole birthday and didn't call me for my birthday, didn't send a text message for my birthday, and that hurt. And then after that, he didn't speak to me for 6 months. I called, I FaceTime, I emailed, I texted, I Facebooked, I IG'd, Messenger, nothing. And then he popped up after 6 months and was just like, hey, how are you? It's been such a long time. And so when I'm saying all of this and revealing this, it's like, I understand how stupid it sounds. I understand how dumb it looks. You see what she's doing right now, shaking her head.
This is how people die. This is how people get killed. Like, what is wrong with you?
But narcissists do have a way of coming on very strong and pleasant. So you're thinking, if I have established with this person something that's so amazing and wonderful and great, and now that things are starting to fall apart, I'm not thinking it's because you're a trash individual. I'm thinking something changed within me that you no longer see. So how do I get that back? How do I fix and get it back? Like Ashley said, not knowing what narcissism was, not knowing what gaslighting was, not knowing my self-worth, thinking that he was gonna make me like the best. And none of that happened.
I want to dive deeper on top of what you just said. Both of us were looking for something.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Narcissists know how to pick them because they know there's a void. Mm-hmm. Because there's a void, I can manipulate her. Mm-hmm. My void was a lack of a father, abandonment issues, a lack of an emotional available mother. So I had anxious attachment, as long as you were quick, fast, whatever. I also had an addiction to sex at the time. And I was having sex. So we had sex really quick. So that made me attached to him really quickly. So I had all these voids that I needed to be filled. So me walking away, when I say I wasn't ready to walk away, is because I needed those voids filled. Mm-hmm. They were not supposed to be filled with him, but I didn't have the tools that I now have today to fill them by myself.
Exactly.
Brittany at the time.
But see, and then me, complete opposite of her. I have a present father. I have an emotionally available mother. And I didn't have abandonment issues, but what I wanted was a relationship.
But also, you mentioned something, and I'm going to pinpoint it. You were insecure at the time about your career.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's what you were looking for. You
Absolutely.
weren't looking for that. You were looking for validation.
I wanted validation.
You wanted validation. It wasn't even. Of course, we both wanted relationships. People want relationships. That's fine. But your void was more so career centered.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's how he could get
it. He had the limelight. He had the name. He had people. He had the career that I wanted. I wanted to, at that time, I'm like, I want to be working full time. I want to be on this stage. I want to be traveling for work. I want people, banging down the door to come work for me. And maybe if I stay next to him long enough, then eventually somebody will notice that in me. Somebody will notice and give me worth and give me value when it comes to my career, which is something that is near and dear and deep to my heart. And so kind of just putting all of that into him.
Exactly. So don't call people in these relationships dumb or stupid.
But
Call
they
them,
do, right?
I know, that's what I'm saying. Don't. For the people listening and who think, how could she be so stupid? How could she be so dumb? All of this. Baby, it can happen to anybody. Because guess what? You're not stupid, you voided. There's a void in your life that you're trying to fill, and you think this person can fill it.
They can't.
But they can't. And they feed off of that. That's why understanding who you are, being aware, like you have to be aware of what you're missing. You have to be aware of what that void is. You have to be aware of the times where you are vulnerable. I can't date at certain times in my life. When I'm bored, I can't date. I'm gonna pick the worst one.
Very carefully.
Very carefully. Pick the wrong one. So never feel like you're dumb if you went through it, and be careful of calling people dumb when you've never experienced that void, because maybe you were blessed enough that even when you had a void, you had someone come along who had good intentions. Unfortunately, we didn't experience that, but we got PhDs in narcissism right now. Okay?
Bet you they ain't coming up to us now.
They do.
Because
narcissists gonna come up to anybody. They gonna shoot that shot. But they gonna measure it and see, how can I manipulate her? And then they realize, I can't manipulate her. Why is she so hard? Why is she calling me out?
And that's the thing, like, that's what really drives a narcissist crazy, is the lack of control and the lack of a fight. The less you fight back, the less power you can give them over you, the better. And because they never think they're wrong, they never apologize. I remember very, very, very specifically, now that time had moved on from this person, I was like, you know what? He did something, I don't know. And I'm like, I'm going to stand my ground. I'm going to call him and I'm going to tell him in a very calm way that I didn't like what he was doing. So we were on the phone having a conversation. I was like, hey, in this tone that I'm saying it right now, very calmly, hey, about the other day when this, and this happened, I didn't like it because it made me feel this, and this type of way. And I would like it if in the future, if we could talk about it before the decisions happen for whatever, or that's just not something that makes me feel comfortable and I don't want to do it. What it was about, I don't know. But the reason why I still remember it was because I was feeling so high and mighty for myself, of like, I'm telling a person that I care about how I feel, which was big for me because I felt like actually telling my feelings to a man. Because
your voice was low.
Was like, oh my God, I'm telling him that he's not perfect, so there's a chance that I might lose him. I should have lost them all because they were all terrible. But so then he's like, oh wow, really? So I'm like, this is going well, y'all. Oh my God. We got a breakthrough. This is healthy communication. He's just like, wow, really? You know, I've had a lot of friends tell me that. And I just feel like in this time in my life, I am examining myself and I'm wondering this, that, and the other, and this, that, and the other, and this, that, and the other. And all of a sudden, it's not a conversation about he and I or what he did to me. It's a conversation about him and what he wants. And what he does, and how other people make him feel, and how everyone else is wrong, and how he constantly keeps hearing the same problem over and over through multiple individuals over his lifetime, but he can't accept that it's him with the issue, even though multiple people have addressed the issue being him. And so there was never like, I'm sorry, I'll do better. There was never that's interesting, I'll work on that. There was never an apology. There was no accountability. And so basically it was just me talking to myself. And that is something that is huge with a narcissist. They will make it everybody else's fault, everybody else's problem, everybody else's whatever. And they are the innocent ones.
Always the victims.
Always the victims.
I mean, before we got on, we was joking about what a dude told me.
I gotta say it. Please. This is how it goes. Ashley and that person at the time, the one she was talking about on Instagram, she confronts him because she is a sound-minded individual. Hey, I'm coming to you to bring you the issue that I have.
Not accusing.
Not accusing.
Asking. What is this?
What is this? They discuss it, and he says, you know what? It's crazy that you don't trust me, even though I gave you a reason not to trust me.
He literally said that verbatim, y'all.
Quote,
unquote.
I quote, I'm sorry you don't trust me, even though I gave you a reason not to trust me. The nerve! It's the audacity. For me.
What? I literally sent that to a few people like, am I reading this correctly? Do y'all see it? I reread it like 10 times before I deleted it.
She literally did. She
was like,
explain this.
Can somebody explain this? Am I reading this right? Because you're a good reader.
So
I think I'm a great reader as well.
You knew you were doing something to promote untrustworthy behavior. As a result, I don't find it trustworthy, but you're mad that I don't think you're trustworthy.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
And that's what, like, they do. It's just like, I mean, I'm sorry you caught me cheating, but I was cheating, and I feel like that's your fault.
Right.
You came home early. What?
I can't believe you confronted me about something that I actually did. Oh my God, you caught me lying? How dare you? How dare you catch me lying?
How dare you catch me lying in the lie that I told?
And then confront me about it. Oh my God.
Yes, I told you a lie, but nobody told you to tell me that
I told you a lie. So this is what I want to tell to a lot of women, especially a lot of women who do have high self-worth and who do love themselves and who are single and waiting. You are going to come across a lot of guys. You're not single because you can't get a man. Preach, honey.
Praise. Okay.
You're single because you don't just want any.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The thing about it is you've probably come across a narcissist that has made you question yourself. What I mean by that is y'all were dating and you have a standard. You have things that you want. These are simple things. Can you call me consistently? Can you plan dates? Can you not say that we're exclusive and then be like entertaining other women? Like, tell me what it is. And they did something to contradict the things that y'all talked about. You brought it up. They flipped it on you and made you feel like you did something wrong. And so now you're going to your friends and your homeboys because you got both. And you're like, okay, am I tripping? Like, I know I did I do something wrong? Because I've been there. Even at now, because I've survived it on the other side. Baby, self-worth is heavy. It's heavy. Plump. It's bigger than Meg the Stallion booty, okay?
Right.
It's out here, okay? But even they can still get you to like question because they're really good at it. And then as a person who is very self-aware, I'm very compassionate, I'm very empathetic, and I'm always analyzing my issues, like, how could I have been better? I know that I deal with this. Was that the problem in this situation? Did I do everything that I could have done right? If you're that kind of person, it will make you feel crazy. So I'm here to tell you, don't question yourself.
And you're not crazy.
You're not crazy.
You're really, really, really
a lot of times we just need that. We're not crazy. Oh, for my not. So let's talk about the other side. When we came out, overcoming. What was your breaking point?
Actually, we don't have time for this today.
Okay, after your hair fell out and you gained weight.
My breaking point was this. I can't lie because it's just a very, very like real personal thing. But
you don't have to lie because I feel like this.
No, I'm not saying lie, but for me, it was two things. This has gone on, building my self-worth and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But I thought I was going to be a girlfriend. I could not wait
3 years
to be his girlfriend.
She's a very patient woman.
I am a very patient woman. I was back then. And I went to see him. He was having surgery. I went to go take care of him. And I'm laughing because
it's like, you can laugh at it now. It's
like if I wasn't saved, I'd hate this person so much. I really would.
You crying.
But for the grace of God, like I don't hate this person. Like, they absolutely deserve every ounce of physical hatred that one can muster. But I don't. Okay, but anyway, I went to take care of him after he was having surgery, and I just knew, like, this was it, okay? Surgery, somebody needs to take care of somebody. This is a big deal. Taking care, for anybody who has taken care of another human being, it is a lot of work. God bless you. Home caregivers, it's a lot of work. And before he had a performance, and he was getting surgery the next day, and while we were at the theater getting ready, he had a co-star, one of his castmates, who just loved him and adored him, and she was like, "Oh my God, is this your girlfriend?" This is it, y'all. This is the moment. This is it. I'm waiting. I'm purposely, like, busy with something else, but, like, so you gonna say it? Because, you know, I'm ready. I've planned for this moment. And he's like, after this 3-year saga, he's like, "Oh no, she's just a friend." And so my heart drops into the floor, and I don't know what to do with myself. And so she's like, "Oh, okay." After that moment, she kisses him in front of me. And so now I'm feeling like, this is how people get murdered.
Yeah, it's always all of these things. All of these things.
And
you brought me up here to take care of you.
Right.
Now.
And so it was the disrespect for me. Yes, I understand. Men will be like, "But y'all weren't in a relationship. Y'all don't understand." And then people will be like, "But she invested 3 years." These are all different ways people can play you with emotions. Because you have invested time, you invested caring, you've gotten over your hurdles or whatever, blah, 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 or you've made mistakes, or you just dug deeper because you didn't want to admit the truth to yourself, or feel like you lost. You wanted to gain, all the effort and energy you put in, you wanted to gain and come out on the right side of it. And after she kissed him in front of me, he left. I threw something. And God was like,
"Should have threw her." Oh,
I would have, but anyway. I yelled. I said plenty of curse words, and God literally yelled, "That's enough!"
See, we both got yelled at.
And I had never heard God spoke to me that loudly and in that way before in my life. And at that point, those two things were enough for me, because I was like, I know that I am in a pit so black and in hell right now emotionally, most of it because of my own doing. And I'm not going to get any better if I stay with this person. Even though everybody else thinks they're so nice and that they're so caring and that they're so great. And to an extent, that's true, because that's who he presented himself to be for those first 6 months, was a great, caring, charismatic, charming individual. Even she liked how he presented himself to be early on. And it was wonderful. But who he really was, when you really got to know him, was somebody who said whatever he wanted in order for him to look good, did whatever he needed to bring that person back so you can further do whatever you want emotionally, you know. And I didn't know how to get out of it, but I felt like I wasn't going to survive if I stayed. I left, I came back home, and that was the last time that I spoke and saw of that individual. We had mutual friends, and they asked, like, "Hey, what happened?" That same night that I talked about, where she kissed him and he allowed her to kiss him, fine, no problem. He told it a completely different way, negated any kissing happened. Was like, "I don't know, Brittany just went crazy and she threw something." So she just saw a theater show and then she threw something. That's how the story went. She just was downstairs and she threw something. That makes sense. Cool. So, and it was like, oh, that's how the story goes. So, you know, saying whatever it is for them to look good. And you look like the bad guy, so that they could be the victim, so that they can have the sympathy of everybody and they could do the whole whatever again. And at this point, I definitely, and a lot of bad things after that, went to therapy. And a year of, I think I was in therapy for like a few months, but it was a year since I was with that person, and they text me and they're like, hey, happy birthday, I hope you're all is well. Oh no, you do know when my birthday is. You didn't know when you left me for 6 months. It's funny how that birthday works. It's the same day every year. It's crazy. And all of that, and I showed my therapist, and I deleted the messages. I blocked his number, and I've never heard of that person again. Praise
It's a
God.
block party. I love a good block party.
I do. I was late to finding the block button.
Oh, the block party is
but
just
when
amazing.
you find it, shut up.
In my book, How to Extra X,
Right
shameless plug, I talk about the blocking, because the blocking is just such a powerful feeling, especially coming out of something where that person has so much control, and to take that control back little by little.
Yes.
That block button.
Mm-hmm. Because honestly, let's be real. The block button helps because we all live in that moment of how it works. I'm going to put them on Do Not Disturb so I can see when they call me or text me, so that I know that they're thinking of me and I can ignore them, but I will have the upper hand. Baby, they're not. You gonna keep picking up that phone. They are not.
But also what I talk about in my book, How to Extra X, is what about when you get past that thought process of false hope? When you get past the moment of he's going to hit me up. Because usually that's when they hit you up. When you
I'm
get
doing
past
okay.
it.
I'm doing okay.
Then they literally dismantle your entire process that you just went
There's
through.
an alarm that goes off when you're just starting to get over somebody. And
It's
you're like,
an
oh,
alarm.
okay. It's just like, is she doing well for herself? Let me
Hit her up and ruin her life.
What's she doing? How's the family? You good? You
Right.
know, it's
just a whole future out here. Mine coming out. He lived with me, so this was after he moved in after like 8 months. So mine was tricky. He tricked me into moving in. We ain't gonna talk about that. I was tricked. Literally showed up one day without his stuff, and I'm looking like, okay. But anyway, literally, y'all, this is crazy. But I was just tired. I was so drained emotionally and mentally. He had done so much, and I just didn't have any fight. Like, at that point, I knew he was cheating on me, but I'm like, I don't have the strength to leave, so I'm going to just let him cheat in peace. It's really pointless. And I didn't find anything or look for anything. I just felt it. I knew it was happening. I just felt it, but it was no point, again, of looking, because I wasn't going to leave anyway.
right. And it manifested in the way she spoke to other people.
Yeah.
Like, she was fine with him, but then friends would be like saying something, and she's like, no, and I know you think he's cheating on me. What? I was asking, like, if I could borrow a shirt. What do you mean? But that's also a thing, is like, your body knows. Women especially, your intuition knows.
Men think we crazy.
You also have intuition if your chick is cheating on you. You know what I'm saying? Or your significant other.
I think dudes think we crazy because we say we have female intuition, but I literally knew he was cheating. It was confirmed later on, but I knew he was cheating.
Yeah, you did.
But that wasn't the reason I left. I left because I was tired. And what was crazy was...
before you even say that, see, there's a difference. We were talking about my situation. It was just like, oh, this person left you. Oh, this person didn't talk to you for X amount of time. She knew he was cheating, but that wasn't the reason why she left. So we wanted to point out, because we understand being tired. We understand wanting to, like, still give and still try. But what actually you ended up leaving was because you were tired and couldn't do it anymore. Also same.
I just couldn't do it. And, like, don't let men who listen to this think cheating is not... Wish you would cheat.
Cheating is a deal
Wish
breaker.
you would. It was a deal breaker then. I just didn't have the energy or the worth or the love to get myself out of there. So I didn't have the strength. So what was crazy, what I still laugh at to this day, was when he started to realize that I was over it, he actually started to act better. But by that time, I was so checked out. When I tell you I was checked out, I was out. You know how they be like, women check out before they leave? That is the truth.
They do.
I was out for about the last 4 months. I was not present. I still had feelings for him. It wasn't even feelings, it was an attachment. I was attached to the process, just waiting on the days for me to get straight. I would say stuff to him that is just really ridiculous. He would be like, oh, you know, he would bring up marriage, and I'd be like, I'm not gonna marry you, but I hope your wife likes you. I was so checked out. Like,
he deserved it.
I didn't care. I was checked out. I just wasn't a part of it. Like, whatever. I was just going through the motions. But I left. I prayed my way out. So I can't remember the exact thing he did, but I remember it was 3 days before Christmas. And he was supposed to come to Mississippi with me. That was, you know, he was excited about that. But I think I went to God and I was like, I'm tired. I know I left you. I know I haven't been talking to you because every time you tell me to leave, but I don't think I had the strength to. But have your way. Whatever you need to do to get me out, I need you to help me to get out. And God was like, bet. That day, I think maybe the next day, I got the strength to just be like, get out. And he was confused. I'm like, no, I'm serious. Get out. Now, usually we broke up all the time. Fake kicked him out all the time.
At least like twice a week.
At least. So towards the end, we weren't breaking up as much because, again, he was trying to act better, but by that time, I was just over it. But usually I'd fake kick him out, and he would take a few things and then come back. But this time, I said, no, I need everything you have in here out. And here's your Christmas gift. Take it with you. And instead of staying inside of my apartment, I went in my car and I sat in my car and watched him take all his stuff out. And he was looking at me with this little pitiful face. And I drove around the corner and was like, I don't want to see this. And that was that. And so it was like a back and forth for like a month or so. But every time I would try to touch it, God would sting me again. Because he's like, you told me to have my way. I got you. So yeah. And then I just prayed. I got really heavy into my word. That's when my celibacy journey started. And I just focused on myself. And yeah. And what's crazy is a year later, this how my, just like a writer's story, because I mean, hello, I always have interesting things happen. A year later, his girlfriend at the time emailed me and was like, I'm dating your ex now. Can you help me? And here's my number. And I called her and we talked and we exchanged like notes, and he was cheating on me with her and everything. And I didn't care because I was over it by then. It was a year. But the thing that I knew, like, this man is a narcissist. She's like, I just want to make sure I'm not crazy because he makes me feel like I'm crazy. I said, everything you believe, he did it. Everything you believe, he did.
You wouldn't even have to tell me.
He did it. Because it was crazy, like, coming out of it. I used to believe, like, so much of what he said, but when I snapped out of it, all his lies just started pouring out. So I would ask the right questions at the right time and trip him up, and he'd be stuttering. He really missed his calling as an actor because he'd be really good at it. But yeah. So we went through our journey. We've been on here for a while, but I just want to touch on some things that you possibly battle when you come out of a relationship with a narcissist. One of the main things is your ability to trust yourself. And just your confidence and your self-esteem.
I would like to add that you're not the last person who is going to love you.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
Because for me, like I said, it started so great and wonderful. And in comparison to the people before, he was the best person that was there. So even though I was out of it and he was horrible, I was like, so am I going to be by myself now? Am I ever going to meet somebody great like him? Spoiler alert, I did. It's me.
Okay.
Sure did meet somebody who's going to love me better.
I wasn't expecting it.
And I say that to say, when you get to the point of really meeting yourself, and I mean even the ugliest parts of yourself, and you can address that, and you can say, let's examine it, let's work on it, I'm gonna love you even though I don't like this, and then you work on what you don't like and get better, you are a different person, and you do love yourself more. And when that opens a whole different realm of people who are going to be attracted to you because you no longer gave off this scent of I need validation. I have a void. I need you to fill this. Yes, everybody still has things and quirks and stuff that they need, but now I'm coming to the place of I am a whole Brittany. Brittany has, she has her good side, she has her bad side, she has things that she's working on, but I'm whole. So when I'm putting out my energy, I'm looking for a whole individual. You do not need to feel me. You are not God. You are not Jesus. You are not going to be the missing piece in my life. If there is a missing piece, God and Jesus will fill it. And yes, as I'm going to be dating and with another person, he too will be a whole individual. And we will pour into each other's lives because I no longer need someone to make me feel like whatever the situation may be. I dang sure didn't need him to get on Netflix. I didn't need it.
Season 2 coming out.
Season 2 this Friday, February 4th.
We saying this Friday, but it'll be done past. But y'all still
It's still on Netflix, February 4th, so that means you can watch it.
Right, you can still watch it right now. Okay. I just love how
thinking
we came
that
back
he was the best thing I ever had.
Best
thing I never had. Brought me to Netflix. You see what I'm saying? Look at God. Won't he make it good? Losing him put me on television shows, got me in movies, got me starring in 2-person world premiere plays at great theaters. But I thought he was the best thing I ever had. Oh, but God introduced me to me. Oh, but Jesus fixed me and worked on that self-worth and everything. Books, therapy, all of that. Got me here. So now we introduced to Brittany.
Be nasty, everybody.
It's an inside joke. Shut up. And now we are ascending. And my star is hitched to God. It's not hitched to anybody else. It's hitched to self-worth. It's hitched to self-confidence. It's hitched to knowing that I, and God did this, not anybody else. I'm sorry, so I'm saying with bug.
It's okay.
Hype on that
Be
part.
nasty, everybody.
So,
girl, I had so much to say, I forgot. You had to drop the mic on the people.
What do you feel like is the most important thing for people to learn as they come out of it? Like, what did you?
I'm trying to go back to whatever. My memory is bad, y'all. It's really bad. Like, I need to write sticky notes. It's really bad. Knowing that I'm trying to get it. Knowing that they're not going to be the best thing to ever happen to you. Mm-hmm. Oh, and she said learning yourself. So she even touched the void thing. So you'll know what voids need to be filled, because a lot of times people come into our lives to show us who we are. And it's crazy because when you get to the lowest point, the only way you can go is up. And hopefully you don't choose to fill your void with more distractions or more numbing aids like alcohol, drugs, sex, like they do on Euphoria. Hopefully, or other
toxic people,
right? Or
trash
or
people.
Other people, or more distractions. But you take the time. But when you get there, you don't need those voids. Now, the thing about narcissists is they go for everybody. They just, when they're dating you, they're trying to figure out, what can I do to her? How far can I manipulate her? And if you can't be manipulated, many times they will skip over you and they will leave you very quickly. Mm-hmm. And you'll be questioning things, but don't question nothing. Just know you won. Mm-hmm. Because they're like, oh, I can't do nothing with her. Let me move on. Because they move on with me.
They do.
Because I'm going to call you out. Because that's what I'm going to do, okay? I'm holding you accountable. And I'm the type, when you try to deflect, we're not deflecting, baby. I can deflect. I'm good at it. But when it comes to, my deflection is usually jokingly. It's just like a little topic I don't want to touch. Like, I'm going to move over here. But I take accountability. Like, I'm that girl who, I'm usually over accountable. So if I toss something to you, I'm not going to accuse you. I'm going to ask you a question. And if we can't come to a common ground and you get offensive, we're not doing this. But the main thing I would tell somebody to take away, I'm going to touch on a few. You said, understand that this is not the only person that'll ever love you, the last person. Really, you shouldn't even want to love like this, because it ain't love, baby. It is strategy. It's not love, it's strategy.
Some people survival.
Yes.
And when you survival mode, that don't mean you got to care about anybody else.
Don't.
Okay.
Because they don't care about you anyway.
It's winter. People are still looking for homes, okay?
These hobosexuals out here, hobo. Okay, meaning they homeless. Hobosexuals, they will come into your homes, people. Okay. Another thing, I'm posting a blog tomorrow. I'm not going to get into it now. I'm going to get into it on the blog. It's going to be called, Is Self-Love Helping or Hindering Single Women? I say that because lately I've been seeing a lot of people talk about...
Too. I got stuff to say.
I keep hearing a lot of people talk about how us loving ourselves are keeping us single. And honestly, if loving me is wrong, I don't want to be right. Okay? I don't want to be right.
Okay.
But I do get the misconception because a lot of people put self-love on inauthentic things and try to say that that's what it is, but it don't look like that. Or
making self-love being selfish.
Exactly, and that's not what this is. So I'm definitely touching on that tomorrow, but what I want to say is overcoming narcissism, it comes with you having to build an unbreakable confidence that where no matter how much you get rejected, yes, it's going to make you sad. Yes, you're going to grieve. Yes, you're going to be like...
And that's normal. And
that's
okay.
normal. That's just a part of
okay.
grief. But it shouldn't take you to a dark place where you feel like you're worthless.
Or this is the best I could do.
Right. Like, it shouldn't make you feel like that way. It should literally free you. Because guess what? When both of us came out of that relationship, I lost in 1 month a smooth 15 pounds. Sweetie over here lost 20.
I did.
Skin cleared up.
Okay.
Hair came back. Popping. Hair came back. Hair grew back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what we talking about? The best was up. What are you saying?
And
I was stuck out here up and it's stuck. This was before I released my books. Now I'm 4 books in. What we talking about? Like, come through. Came through dripping.
Did you say you got better once you left? Is that what you did?
I did. So what I'm saying is, yeah, a lot of people, when they listen to Single Woman, they think, oh, y'all just using, this self-love just to cover up the fact you can't get a man. Again, I can get a man.
Several, in fact.
Several. I just am not about to settle for
less.
A relation. It ain't even about less. I'm just not settling for a relationship that ain't really a relationship. Like, if I gotta fight you to want me, why am I here?
I saw a post today that actually said if you lose a person and you don't lose your peace, you didn't lose anything.
What are we doing?
How are you mad about somebody that left but you still got peace?
Because this is what I say. When people be like, oh, this person left or it didn't work, I'd be like, okay, I hear what you're saying, that you lost the relationship.
And it's okay.
Okay, I see hear what you're saying that you lost the relationship, but what did you gain? Good peace, your edges, honesty, like the ability to accomplish goals,
grace for yourself,
like confidence,
self-worth, confidence,
good sleep, not knowing ain't nobody cheating on you.
Sounds like a win to me.
So I don't know. It's we're in a society that looks, that's why my motto is being single is a beautiful choice rather than a miserable circumstance, because this is a choice to be here. We can all, I feel like anybody walking this earth can, find somebody, but it's just about the type of relationship you want. And I've invested too much in myself to just be dating any old body and accept any old thing. Baby, this is Corvette country. I don't want no Pinto.
Bentleys do not go on sale.
What are we talking about? I don't want it. So yes, so hopefully this helped somebody. Hopefully this brought light to something. I hope if someone's experiencing the things that we've talked about, this frees you.
Full transparency.
And if you're coming out of it, just know that it's only up from here. And yes,
it gets better.
The grieving process is hard. It's
and
heavy.
It sucks.
Because you're going to question yourself a lot. You're going to feel like, how could I have been so stupid? How could I have been so dumb? Why didn't I catch it?
Why didn't I see it? I know better.
Again, you don't know you in it until you out of it. You don't know. Because you'll be full blown. Listen, it's a strategy. They are good at it. They are so good at it. Like, it's like watching Denzel on the screen. No, it's like watching Angela Bassett play Tina Turner, because my whole life I thought Angela was Tina.
You know how old I was when I realized that Angela Bassett wasn't Tina Turner?
Because I'm like, who is this woman at the end of this movie?
I didn't even wait till the end of the movie. I saw Angela Bassett in another movie, and I was like, look at Tina. Tina is getting this work. I didn't know she was acting now. She stopped singing. She in movies. Come on. And the whole show, they didn't put Tina Turner's name on there. I'm like, who is this Angela Bassett?
Who is this Angela?
Who is Angela? She's good too, but is that not? I thought she was Tina. Was she not?
She not Tina.
She was over there with the little dress, and she did this and the thing. But
she left a good job in the city.
Saying she was rolling on the river, and it was far. What do you mean? That kind of good, you know.
So don't feel bad. Again, if you haven't watched Sweet Magnolias, go ahead and turn that on right now. Retinol. As soon as you retinol. All right, I think that's it.
Bye, guys.
Bye.